Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another agricultural class with Mrs. Ogoyinka Taiwo. And today we'll be discussing the topic capital. We'll be discussing the topic capital. And on this capital, we'll be talking about the definition of capital. We'll be discussing the types of capital, sources of capital, characteristics of capital, and uses of this capital in agricultural enterprise. We'll be discussing the topic capital. So, what do we understand by the word capital? When we talk about capital, capital includes all man-made productive assets which are used in production. Capital includes all man-made productive assets which are used in production. And capital can also be referred to as an asset made by man to enable him to produce goods and services. Capital is referred to as money used to start up and to keep running a business. Types of capital. We have two types of capital. The first one, we have the fixed capital, and we also have the working or variable capital. When we talk about the fixed capital, these are capital assets purchased for continuous use in production. These are capital used or purchased for continuous use in production. These are items or materials that are used up during production. An example, we have the farm buildings, we have the motor vehicles, we have the farm tools and implements, we have the tractors. And when we talk about the working or variable capital, these are capital or assets which are used up during the process of production. Working capital or variable capital are capital or assets which are used up during the process of production. And the examples include we have water, feeds, drugs, cash in hand, vaccines, litters, fertilizers, seeds, and chemicals. Remember, I told you we have two types of capital. We have the fixed capital and we have the working or variable capital. The fixed capital, these are capital or assets purchased for continuous use in production. We can also refer to as fixed capital as the capital used up during capital which are not used up in the production. Then the working capital, these are capital that are used up during process of production. Sources of capital. Firstly, capital can be sourced from friends. It can be gift from friends. It can be from personal savings. It can be grants or aid from government and organizations. It can also be loaned from friends. It can be loaned from family members. It can be loaned from banks and other financial institutions. It can also be loaned from the government. Sources of capital. It can be from personal savings, gift from friends, grants from government organizations, loans from friends, loan from family members, loan from banks or financial institutions, and also loan from governments. Remember, we talked about capital as man-made productive assets that are used in production. That is the money to run a particular business. And we said we have two types. We have the fixed capital and we have the working capital. Fixed capital are items or materials which are not used up during production. Examples are motor vehicles, farm tools and implements. We have the working or variable capital, which are capital assets that are used up during the process of production, which includes water, feeds, drugs, cash at hand. So let's talk about characteristics of capital. Capital can depreciate or appreciate. The reward of capital is interest, and capital is also used to acquire other factors of production, e.g., land and labor. Capital can be obtained in form of loans or subsidies. Characteristics of capital. It can depreciate or appreciate. It can be sourced from personal savings, banks, government agencies, and cooperative societies. The reward of capital is interest. Importance of capital in agricultural enterprise. It is used to establish farm enterprise. Capital is used to establish farm enterprise. Working capital is used in the day-to-day running of the farm enterprise. Working capital is used in the day-to-day running of the farm enterprise. Working capital is used for paying wages. Working capital is used for paying wages. I hope you still remember the definition of our working capital as the capital or assets which are used up during the process of production. So working capital is used for paying wages. Working capital is used for the purchase of farm inputs, maintenance, services on the farm, and feeding of livestock. Working capital is used for the purchase of farm inputs, for maintenance services on the farm, and feeding of livestock. Fixed capital in form of immovable houses and farmsteads provide shelter for farm operations. Fixed capital in form of immovable houses and farmsteads provide shelter for farm operations. And remember, we talked about our fixed capital as a capital or assets purchased for continuous use in the production. This is the capital or assets which are not used up during production. So fixed capital in form of machinery provides farm power or farm operations. Fixed capital in form of machinery provide farm power for farm operation. Fixed capital is used to generate more funds. Fixed capital is used to generate more funds. Fixed capital is used to generate more funds. Fixed capital is used to facilitate farm expansion. If you want to increase the size of your farmland, fixed capital is being used.